So now joining me, I have Gil Alterovitz, who is Assistant Professor and Director of Biomedical Cybernetics Laboratory at the Harvard Medical School and Boston Children's Hospital. Gil, it's a pleasure to have you today. Can you tell us about your work in your organization, please?
Right. So in our organization over in the Computational Health Informatics program, which is affiliated with Boston Children's Hospital and in the Harvard Medical School, what we are doing in my lab is looking at using approaches to develop new types of drugs, specifically focusing on antibacterials using technologies from machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Okay. We've heard about the trends in the industry at our conference. Can you tell us what you've heard and what you think are the next big thing for the industry?
Right. So we've seen a number of trends that are emerging. One is about integrating heterogeneous data sources that maybe you would not have thought about putting together, but if you're able to facilitate interoperability, you could bring them together so they have larger data sets to make more inferences on when you're doing machine learning. I think the other aspect that we've certainly seen a lot around is the generative adversarial networks, where you have one network kind of working against another network, and together they're able to solve a problem and generate realistic findings. Whether in our case we're looking at creating new drugs, in other cases it's about creating realistic faces and videos and audio, so that's kind of a really exciting new area as well.
And are these the topics that you discussed in your own presentations today? Or was it different?
Right. So what we did is we integrated genomic, proteomic information, RNA information, and small molecule information to try and predict new drugs that would work for tuberculosis, which actually happens to be the single infectious agent that kills the most youth and adults in the world today. When you look at it, it actually exceeded HIV. So a major problem, and a lot of the things that we can apply there by gathering these data sets, we can then apply toward other bacteria that can have drug resistance. So focusing on drug resistance and integrating those different data sets together.
You know, all these new technologies and all these new projects that you have, I guess they have some challenges. Can you tell us more about these challenges and how you plan on overcoming them?
Right, yeah, there are a number of challenges that we see right now. So for each one of the items that I mentioned, so when you try to bring together these different heterogeneous sources, they come from different sources that each kind of encode the data in a certain way. So how do you compare data that came from different sources and together? So there's kind of an interoperability issue there. Another issue that arises is with the machine learning approaches is getting enough data. So there's a lot of there's a lot of data sets where you have many features but not as much patient or other types of information in terms of number of samples. So getting more samples so that you can do better machine learning, which is where you'll get the good results. And then in the GANs area, the generative adversarial networks for AI, there the issue is how do you, the speed is an issue right now. It takes a long time to make kind of a single image or a single molecule projected. So could there be efficiencies done or computational advances so that you'll get results much more quickly? Because right now you may be working kind of on one image or one 3D block. It could take hours to days. But if you want to do a simulation where molecules are moving around, faces are in video, then it takes longer, and so we need some advances in that area as well.
I guess one of the challenges too in your field of work is everything is really fast-paced. Keeping up with the trends must be a challenge. So does this kind of event help you keeping up on with the trends? What are the main key takeaways from the event that you had so far?
Right. Yeah, I was really impressed by this event. The quality of the speakers, the exhibits, was really, really, really incredible, actually. So really happy. I flew in from the U.S., so I wasn't sure what to expect in this one. I'd certainly heard about the Precision Medicine Congress before. Saw some of the new things now with the healthcare and AI, which is really exciting. So I think one of the things that is interesting to learn is when we see a pattern that kind of appears across a number of talks that are new each year. So this year we definitely saw a number of themes around AI and big data that's really evolving. And then I think the other area that we've seen is how do you bring data from different locations. Maybe it's the same data, it may not be heterogeneous data, but get data from different locations, bring it all and have it work together. We've seen a number of vendors look at that, we've seen researchers, so being able to see it in one place with these really top ranked speakers and exhibits really brings you that picture together, and that's what I think has been very valuable to me personally here.
I'm very glad that you had such a positive experience. Gil, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.